this is it. We're coming to the end of the season here in Alaska. Just one more hunt to go. We're all tired. Everyone hurts. But it's just a few more days.
Outdoor Adventures is sponsored by Burris Optics and the family of Eliminator Laser Scopes, Corbon Ammunition, CVA, Bergara Custom Barrels and Rifles, Kershaw Knives, and the new DeLorme InReach.
This week is the Alaska Series finale. This sixth show in a 6-week series that's featured one season in Alaska, from spring through early fall, and it's only fitting that in the final show, we feature none other than my good friend and client, Floyd Brown from Odessa, Texas. And I sent a camera crew to his hometown so that we could get to know him a little better.
Floyd is a 75-year-old adventure hunter. He and his wife Donna live in Odessa, Texas, where they own commercial food services, a family-run business. Since his semi-retirement, Floyd has successfully hunted lion, leopard, and Cape buffalo, as well as plains game on multiple African safaris. He and Donna also traveled to New Zealand for red stag and tar. Next up on his bucket list was an Arctic grizzly.
At 75 years old, I still had a lot of things that I had on my bucket list, so the Arctic grizzly was one of them, and so I booked that hunt with Steve's Outdoor Adventure.
We went to a spike camp, which is just sleeping in tents, cooking on the fire outside, and going out on the mountain there and viewing everything through binoculars, just trying to see the game that we were hunting.
When I first met Floyd at base camp, I immediately was concerned about his ability to get a grizzly. I don't make assumptions based on age of a hunter. In fact, I just had a client take his stone sheep and complete a Grand Slam of rams this fall at the age of 79. The first thing I noticed was Floyd's walking ability. With grizzlies on the Arctic tundra, you have to be able to cover some country, and sometimes you have to be able to do it fast. Rough terrain and speed were not going to be Floyd's strong suits. I was going to be banking on his determination and his mental toughness to get him through this hunt.
The one aspect of Floyd's character, his personality, that stood out to me was his determination. His mental toughness and determination, it was incredible to witness.
Floyd is an extremely confident person. He's used to success and he expects that he will be successful. But at the same time, he also understands hunting. And sometimes you don't get what you're after. With grizzlies way out there and Floyd's limitations, there was a great deal of belief between myself and Bill that it was likely that Floyd would go home without a grizzly.
Yeah, it's not easy. This isn't like hunting in the Midwest or something. You got river crossings, the tundra's thick, you have to walk through brush. It's unbelievably thick. Even just walking on the river bottoms is like walking on cobbles. You roll your foot all the time. But he pushed through. He didn't complain once. It was amazing.
In last week's show, we mentioned that I was hunting with the new CVA Acura V2 with nitride technology. And this was exciting because I was actually the first person to ever use one of these guns on a hunt. And I'm proud to announce that CVA has introduced a high-tech barrel treatment known as salt bath nitride to its Acura line of muzzleloading rifles. The nitride process actually hardens the outer layer of the steel, making it significantly more durable and more corrosion resistant than even chrome lining. These are premium Bergara barrels, and even though these barrels are made out of 416 stainless steel, the nitride process turns them matte black in color. And unlike the currently popular exterior ceramic coatings, nitriding protects the outside and the inside of the barrel, and it will not shoot out, even after thousands of shots. The nitride technology is even available in the Bergara custom rifles, making them some of the toughest backcountry guns available. This is the closest thing that we have ever seen to a rust-proof muzzleloader barrel. And when you're hunting places like Alaska, having a gun that's as tough as the weather is rough is extremely important. The CVA muzzleloaders with nitride technology will be available at your local CVA retailer starting in 2014.
When we come back from commercial break, Floyd begins his quest for an Arctic grizzly.
Follow Steve's Outdoor Adventures on Facebook and Twitter and keep up with all the action, as well as find out about some great giveaways that we have throughout the year.
Caldwell's Dead Shot Field Pod. Bench rest accuracy when it matters most. 90% of the Earth's surface lacks cellular coverage. So, what happens if you get lost or injured? What if something critical happens at home and your loved ones need to reach you? InReach SE allows you to send and receive text messages to any cell number or email address. Track your trips so friends and family can follow along, or declare an SOS anywhere on Earth through the Iridium satellite network. So on your next adventure, stay safe, stay in touch, and stay in reach.
The Burris C4 Plus rifle scope gives you the ability to match elevation to your favorite rifle and to your favorite bullet. Finally, you can say goodbye to holdover. You can get a custom clicker that lets you dial in the distance to your target for a precise aiming point for your exact cartridge. The convenient wind map makes wind holdoff easy to calculate, so you can take that shot with absolute confidence. The Burris C4 Plus custom scope. Pinpoint accuracy is easier than ever. Visit us online at burrisoptics.com.
Shoot and see. Reactive target. Shoot more. Shoot better.
With my caribou tag filled, my attention turned to Floyd and helping Bill get him on a bear. I really wanted to film Floyd getting a grizzly so that we could show other hunters of all ages that anyone could do this hunt. Bill is well equipped. He's knowledgeable, he's strong as a mule, and he has extreme patience. He was the perfect guide for this hunt.
Bill was the ideal guide for Floyd's hunt. With his experience in the Alaska backcountry and hunting grizzlies, we knew that this was going to be the difference between success and failure.
Hunting Arctic grizzlies is really a patience game. You climb to the highest point around and start glassing. When you find a bear, figure out if it's big enough and make a game plan to stalk the bear. It's pretty simple, boring at times, but effective.
It's said that grizzly hunting is 99% boredom and 1% sheer terror and excitement. I agree with that assessment.
It was one of those things that all the tundra and all of the brush and stuff that you had to walk through, you had to just tear your way through it. And when you walk 3/4 to a mile down a mountainside to get to the place that you wanted to glass all of the terrain there, it was quite trying. But I loved every minute of it.
That first day, we spotted 3 different grizzlies, but Bill felt like they were just a bit out of Floyd's range. One of them was a big dark boar that was in a huge berry patch, but he was about 3 miles away.
The difference between grizzlies and brown bears, as defined by Boone and Crockett, is as simple as a line on a map. But the basic difference is food and size.
Brown bears are your larger coastal grizzlies, and they have a high-protein food source in the form of spawning salmon every summer and fall. And interior grizzlies have a much leaner diet of berries and whatever they can catch and kill. So consequently, they're generally smaller in size.
The exception being the grizzlies of coastal British Columbia that are more like a brown bear but qualify for the record books as an interior grizzly due to their southern location between the Alaska-Canada border.
After not seeing any bears out for the next couple of days, I was really getting concerned. And then we got the inReach message from base camp. There was an incoming snowstorm in 2 days. We had 1 day to hunt, and then they were coming to pull us out. If they didn't come get us, we could be snowed in for days or even weeks.
The next morning, Bill and Floyd climbed up on the mountain to glass the main drainage, and Steve and Ian glassed the West Fork in a last great effort to find Floyd a grizzly.
We just decided we were gonna hike up and go see where Floyd and Bill were. They're on their way down. Sounds like they've spotted a bear across the river. It's a ways out, but they want to make a play for it, so we're gonna air up the raft, and hopefully we can get Floyd within gun range of this bear, because it looked like a big one. If it's the same one we saw the other day across there in the berry patch. Here they come. He told me that the big dark boar was back out in the berry patch about 3 miles out. He really didn't think Floyd could get there fast enough to get on him before the bear went out of sight, but with the incoming storm, and this being the last day to hunt, he really wanted to at least try.
Will Floyd get a shot at his grizzly, or will Mother Nature bring an early winter's end to his hunt? Find out after this short commercial break.
If you want hard-hitting bullets with deep penetrating performance, look no further than Corbon. It's 100% copper and fast expanding, with near 100% weight retention every time.
I don't trust any other ammunition, and in my line of work, my life depends on quality ammo.
Corbon is the official ammunition of Steve's Outdoor Adventures. So next time you're in the field, load up with Corbon DPX ammunition and drop them dead in their tracks.
Introducing Wheeler Delta Series, the most comprehensive line of AR-15 tools and armorer's kits available. Each tool is innovatively designed to perform with precision and ease. Everything you need to build, repair, and maintain any AR platform firearm. Innovative solutions for the AR enthusiast. See the complete line at WheelerEngineering.com. Wheeler Engineering, fine gunsmithing supplies.
Crossbreed holsters, leaders in holster concealment and comfort, handmade in the USA. After leaving camp, the hunters used the raft to cross the river. Then began the long hike to find the bear. Even with the odds far against them, they were determined to at least try.
We had to row across a river that was real swift and is 110 yards wide and had a little, an 8-foot raft there that we coming across. It was leaking a little bit, so we didn't know, exactly what was going to happen. So it was just another venture that you didn't expect, but it happened, and it was tough to get across there.
Well, instead of one river crossing in the Solstice Voyager 800, there's was it 6, I think, back and forth in a leaking raft. It's basically like herding cats. These guys were great though. They helped up, set up camp, help cook. So I didn't really have to take care of them. I just, focused on the hunter. It's enjoyable. Got some other guys in camp. Extra sets of eyes always helps.
Our first break came when we realized that we could walk down an old riverbed for about 2.5 miles toward the bear. Now this meant that Floyd would have the best possible walking surface for most of the stalk. It would be slow going, but a lot faster than if we had to walk over the tundra.
Man, Floyd kept putting one foot in front of the other, and this is where we knew that mental toughness, it was gonna pay off.
When we finally got to the berry patch, it was 3 hours after we started our stalk, and the bear was gone. It was now 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but we had all day, so we decided to get up on a small ridge and spend the rest of the day glassing the berry patch. We were hoping that the bear would come back out to feed that evening.
The setup was perfect. The hunters had a vantage point, and the wind was blowing away from the berry patch and river bottom.
Over the next 6 hours that we sat up there glassing, I kept coming back to this dark spot in the brush that looked like an old tree limb sticking up. It looked out of place, but it never moved. Take the pledge to be a responsible gun owner. I did. Finally, at about 8 o'clock, we decided we had better get headed back to camp. I made one more sweep of the area with my Steiners, and sure enough, that tree limb sat up and looked right at me. We had been within 500 yards of that grizzly all day.
He's a silver-tipped grizzly. He's beautiful. One of the prettiest bears I've ever seen. He just wanted out in the open.
As the bear fed out in the open berry patch, Steve and Bill got together on a plan.
Bill and I would go down into the berry patch with Floyd and try to close the distance to get a shot. Ian would set up the video cameras and film from the top of the hill. Thinking back, I should have grabbed one of the cameras.
Hey, mister, are you stupid or something? Why are you washing the inside of your truck?
Because I can.
Marathon seat covers are an official sponsor of Steve's Outdoor Adventures. When we come back from commercial break, Floyd comes face to face with an Arctic grizzly. This segment was sponsored by Steiner Optics and the new Predator binoculars. Steve's Outdoor Adventures is sponsored by Burris Optics and the family of Eliminator laser scopes, Corbon Ammunition, CVA, Bergara Custom Barrels and Rifles, Kershaw Knives, and the new DeLorme InReach.
If you'd like to book your own guided big game hunting adventure, give my office a call. I will personally take your calls, answer your questions, and help you book the hunting or fishing trip of a lifetime. We covered the first 250 yards of the stalk without being seen. And that's when the bear got sight of us and stood up. This is where things got exciting.
And we got down to about maybe 300 yards, and the bear seen us, and he stood up. And I said, awesome. And here, this bear out there standing up on his back legs, looking at us. And then he got down and he started running toward us as if it was an attack.
All of a sudden, this bear started running right at us. And to me, this looked like a full-blown grizzly charge from 250 yards away and closing fast.
From my vantage point on the hill, this was shaping up to be an incredible grizzly bear charge. And honestly, I was pretty happy to be back on my filming location on the hill instead of down there with those guys.
At about 150 yards, the bear stopped and stood up again. That's when I knew it was just trying to figure out what we were. And then it dropped down and started running at us again. Now we were really trying to get Floyd ready to take the shot, only this time up close. The closest the bear ended up getting was 115 yards. He stood up and then he dropped down and started moving to our left. And then he stood up again. The bear started taking off again, and I was worried that it was gone for good. So I started bawling like a moose calf, and that got his attention.
He went quite a ways before he stood back up. When he stood up this time, I said, well, it's now or never. I wanted that bear because it was a beautiful bear. And he had the big grizzly head, and I'd never seen an Arctic grizzly before, and he was an awesome bear.
One shot Floyd, that bullet dropped the grizzly right where he stood.
This was one of the most beautiful grizzly bears I have ever seen. I was really proud of Floyd. If I ever live to be 75 years old and be so full of life and seek out adventure like Floyd is, I'll count myself a lucky, lucky man.
I was wishing that I'd taken one of the video cameras down with us on the stalk, because while the view from on top of the hill was great, I would give anything to be able to show you what it was like down where we were at. I will never forget that grizzly, that stalk, or that hunt. And I can't think of a better way for us to wrap up this year's Alaska Adventure Series.
You know, Floyd is 75 years old. And I hope at 75 I'm doing this because, you know, I've said it before, thousands of people have black bears. Lots of people have brown bears, but very few people have a true Arctic grizzly, and even fewer yet have one this beautiful. This is an amazing bear. It is an amazing trip, and I hope that you had as much fun watching this show as Floyd and I had making it. Floyd, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
If you'd like to be a part of one of the future Adventure Series shows, go to our Outdoor Channel show page listed on the screen. Click on the Adventure Series link and follow the instructions. We're planning our 2014 through 2016 Adventure Series hunting adventures right now and looking for the best possible clients to join us in the field. And remember, you don't have to be filmed to experience these hunts. If you're interested in booking a world-class big game hunting adventure in Alaska or any other destination, contact my office. I will personally take your calls, answer your questions, and help you book the hunting or fishing trip of a lifetime. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week's show. But please remember to join us again next week when we bring you another exciting episode of Steve's Outdoor Adventures.
With Floyd and his grizzlies safely on their way home, Steve and his crew pack up and leave the Brooks Range, fly back to Fairbanks, and with the end of this hunt, Steve wrapped up his season in Alaska and headed home. A year of adventure never to be forgotten, and some downtime at home, or so he thought.
You're gonna hunt Kodiak Island in November? Count me in.